basically trying to go right there. I mean, I'm not even touching a tom-tom or anything. I'm using the two extremes of the drum set, but the goal being that I'm basically, like I say, again, something that's a textural change. And a couple times in the project I brought in here, I do a lot of like where I'll play maybe the verse of a song. I might be, you know. Like I like to try and kind of go from a smaller sound to a larger sound. So it's again, it's almost kind of like, to me, it's like going from JoJo Mayer to, you know, to John Bonham. You know, we're all, you know. That's great, but I know growing up, personally, I'd be the first to say I was not a big like Led Zeppelin guy growing up. I was into the Police hard because I just, you know, everyone probably is familiar with them now that they're touring. Anybody know who Stuart Copeland is?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think probably dumb question, right? But especially now, I just went and saw them last month up in Virginia. Blown away. They're still amazing. But that's, the Police were a band I really enjoyed because they brought a lot of world influences into music. And Jeff and I, over the years, we've always talked. I mean, it's like, to me, I get really moved by eclecticism, or how do you say that word right? Basically, drawing in a lot of different influences. I get bored easily. I really am not a big fan of, you know, just, and this is, again, this is kind of a, might be taboo to say, but I personally get a little bored of some meat and potatoes things in music. If stuff's just the same old, like the blues jams Gainesville used to have downtown for years growing up, I hated it. It's like, man, when someone plays something else, you know, it's like, can we play, okay, play the blues, but good Lord, can we play something other than, you know, again, opinionated young guy, I didn't know any better. You know, you go hear some real great blues players, you start realizing, oh, wow, these guys really got something going on here. But the thing that, to me, again, I've always enjoyed musicians who bring in a lot of different styles and a lot of different influence to what they're doing. So, coming from what Tobin and I, both our backgrounds, that's why I went into it when I was probably, some of you that are, how many people in middle school? Okay? Honestly, I mean, I bet most of you, how many are in band in middle school? Right? I figured probably a lot of you that are here even doing this. I honestly, in middle school, couldn't read my way out of a wet paper bag. I was like, you know, quarter note, what's that? Dude, I'm playing rock, man. I'm just going to bang my beats on my drum set. And honestly, I probably spent more time sitting in a room being befuddled trying to figure out just the simplest beats, you know, something like, that would have just given me fits, you know, because I couldn't figure out how to diversify and get like a broad set of influences. So it wasn't until I hit high school and started doing drumline and started meeting other guys, you know, when I went to Gainesville High, we all marched in drumline, and you know, and all these other players that were like some of you that were smart enough to come to things like this, unlike me, who's out ramping my bike doing BMX, you know, or whatever. I began to realize, man, there's something to this whole thing of listening to different musical styles. How many people listen to reggae? Right? Pretty, you know, it's pretty cool. And I mean, I'm sure in this day and age too. Again, man, guys, I don't know. Like, I'll put it all under the categories of like hardcore or punk or, you know, thrash. I mean, I know a few band names, but I'm an old guy. I'm clueless as to who's like really hip. But you know, bands like Mastodon. Anybody, you guys, what's Brand Draylor? That guy. I mean, some of those drummers and those players. You know, you look at. It's always interesting to me to find out their backgrounds. Derek Roddy. Anybody know? He's the blast beat guy. He does a lot. I think. Now, these band names always crack me up. It's like Hatebreed Eternal or something like that. Anyone know that band? Have you ever heard of that? Yeah, yeah, okay, cool. So it's invariably Derek. I know Derek from down in South Florida. Derek is a phenomenal like jazz drummer and really heavy fusion cat. He's got all these other backgrounds, but if you heard him in that band, you'd swear the only thing he ever did in his life was flying double bass drum stuff and just, you know, just barrage of notes and speed. But yet that guy's also got some serious orchestral chops. He's a really versatile player. So my point here is that to any of you, one of the things I go for and what I'm trying to do is always, you know, diversify myself and constantly being a student. You're never too old to learn, never too young to learn, you know, to jump into something. And it's okay, you know, when you get into music, to not be afraid to fall on your face. So, with that said, I'm going to do a little playing for you because I talk so blasted much. I'm going to cover, first things first, I'm just going to run through a few different things. I'm going to run through some things dealing with coordination, just kind of some coordination ideas, and also maybe play a couple different time signatures, just kind of give you a little idea. But when I asked about reggae, I'm also going to throw some different styles at you. And I'm going to ask you what a couple of these styles were. I'll make it kind of obvious. Matter of fact, let's start with the style thing so you can kind of, that should help everybody here. Let's see what we got. I'll try not to kill everyone with this metronomes a little on the loud side. See what this first style we got here. Anybody tell me? And I'm not looking for like real specific. What's a genre? What would somebody? What's that? Reggae? No.
Bossa Nova.
What's that?
Bossa Nova kind of.
Little bossa nova. What's that? Yeah, Afro-Cuban. Yeah, and like any particular. I mean, you want to elaborate on Afro-Cuban stuff?
Like soca.
What's that? Not really soca, and that's because they're good things. So for the younger people too, because I know this stuff used to always fly over my head. Okay, reggae, like a basic what they call one drop. Believe me, I mean Bob Marley's rolling over in his grave, but that's not like that's not doing reggae any great justice. But reggae is a musical style for some younger folks that like just hearing it. But the drumming tends to be very upside down because it's very hand oriented, and where we're used to in rock and roll, the snare drum always being whacked on 2 and 4. The bass drum tends to be the back, what we call the backbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's a lot of implied triplets. Everybody know what I'm talking about? I mean, I know. I'm not going to insult your intelligence. Yes, sir. What's that? You know what triplets are, right? That's cool, yeah. So like if you think like taking this, let's say that's 1, 2, if you look up like the group essentials posters, I'm basically thinking to myself, more, and reggae kind of takes those two and puts them kind of in the middle. So that's that reggae feel. There's a lot of that feeling of, and again, this comes back to those of you that are involved in marching band. That's marching band 101. Mark time here for you for a second. Right, off the left, it's going to sound a little weird. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, going down there. Put your little lamps on. Somebody tell me what that's called? Chin? You tell me what I've got going on there? Any of you guys are the drumline dudes?
Flame accents?
Yeah, flame accents, definitely. I mean, what would you call it more fundamentally, the way I'm like isolating it, like I'm doing 4 of each thing. Do anyone know what we call that? Permutation or what's that? Accent grid, exactly. They're both correct answers. That's for those that are younger. What I'm thinking to myself, got this. Let's do it with a quarter note so you'll hear it. Thinking that here, triple it, 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 triple it. So let's see if we can do that together and say it. 1, 2, triple it.